With 2-week ceasefire over the war in Iran now in doubt, the U.S. and Iran walking away from talks in Pakistan, trading blame for the breakdown. U.S. Vice President JD Vance has left Islamabad, saying Washington put forward its final and best offer, which Tehran did not accept.
We've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms.
One of Iran's chief negotiators said his delegation raised what he calls forward-looking initiatives during the meeting, but Washington failed to gain the trust of Tehran. Iran's foreign ministry says no one expected a deal to be concluded in one meeting due to an atmosphere of mistrust and suspicion. New issues have surfaced in the latest talks, and Tehran says any decision must be in the national interest.
بعضی از موضوعات جدید این دفعه به موضوع مذاکرات اضافه شد، مثل موضوع تنگه هرمز یا منطقه. خب اینا خودش شرایط، ویژگی‌ها و مقتضیات خودش رو داره. اما فکر می‌کنم که به هر حال ما کماکان در هر شرایطی باید به عنوان دیپلمات و به عنوان دستگاه دیپلماسی پیگیر منافع ملیمون باشیم، از ابزارهای مختلفمون استفاده بکنیم برای صیانت از امنیت، حقوق و منافع ملت ایران.
And for more, we have Hira Mustafa covering developments for CNA live from Islamabad. Hira, thank you for joining us. Now, what were the key sticking points between the U.S. and Iran?
Well, after hearing U.S. Vice President JD Vance earlier in the day, it's clear that the Americans have their apprehensions regarding Iran's nuclear program. They made it clear that Iran cannot keep up its uranium enrichment, and they have to agree and they have to give some commitments, serious commitments to the Americans that they will never seek a nuclear weapon. So that was a point of contention between the warring parties. As we heard JD Vance saying that they have shared their concerns and with the Iranians, and they have made a decent proposal, and the deal is on the table. Now it depends on Iranians. Either they want to take it or not. Either they want to strike a peace deal or not. It's completely with them. The decision is with them. Apart from this, we are hearing that there were several rounds of negotiations, intense negotiations, in which Pakistan also tried to convince the warring parties to find a middle ground. But another sticking point was the Strait of Hormuz, the complete reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway that through which 1/5 of the world's shipping oil flows through that. So that is also a point of concern. We are hearing, and Pakistan was also party to that negotiations, and Pakistan was also of the view that both the parties should find a middle ground. So these were the concerns that were being raised by the U.S. Vice President JD Vance, that there should be a complete reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran should give serious commitments that they will not seek a nuclear weapon ever. What we are hearing from the analysts in the capital is that the governance of Iran on the Strait of Hormuz gives it a leverage. So that's why it's not easy to convince them completely.
Hira, how has Pakistan reacted to the talks ending without a deal, and what can we expect now?
Well, what we are hearing from many diplomats in the capital is that it doesn't mean if U.S. Vice President JD Vance has gone back to Washington without striking a peace deal. It doesn't necessarily mean that the talks have collapsed. Many in the capital are viewing this as an achievement that Pakistan was being able to bring the warring parties, Washington and Tehran, to the negotiating table after 1979. So it's a big achievement that the two hostile enemies agreed to resolve this conflict via negotiations. We also saw a statement coming in from the country's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar, in which he stated that Pakistan was playing a role of mediator and will continue to facilitate the process of dialogue. So this means that the talks did not completely collapse. There's still a glimmer of hopes, and it's likely that the negotiations will continue in the coming days.
Well, many thanks for that update. Hira Mustafa there reporting live from Islamabad.